O'Neill Outside Radio is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Works Power and Garden Tools. Toyota, let's go places. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Big Green Egg, the most popular and most versatile ceramic grill. Huff Shed, great storage sheds and custom buildings. Year One, classic car parts for American muscle cars. Arctic Ice, the most durable, versatile, and effective cooler packs available. Timbuktu Outdoors, the ideal solution to live bait. Furminator, the best food plot implement on earth. And the Georgia Department of Natural Resources and State Parks.
From Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangled studio at Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia mountains, it's time for O'Neill Outside. For anything in the outdoors, this is your source. Listen in and call the show with your comments or questions. And now, here's O'Neill.
Good morning, boys and girls. It's O'Neill. If you missed me, we were out last week. I hope you're joining us this morning. 2 hours of outdoors headed your way, and we may talk a little politics today, but not much, because it's the weekend. It's time to spend some time with your family, fishing, hunting, camping, hiking, staying outside instead of being sequestered, where it's legal and where it's recommended. So this is O'Neill Outside. 2 hours, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern on WSB and 95.5 FM, 750 a.m. The SB Nation Radio Network, 155 stations across the country, and we hope that you'll join us. I would take this opportunity to invite you to watch O'Neill Outside Television, Fox networks across the country. And if you'll go to my website at o'neilloutside.com or o'neilloutside.net, you can right on the VOD, the Video On Demand networks, both at the website and the Video On Demand networks, you can watch past adventures of O'Neill Outside. So we have a busy morning, of course, as always, over the next couple of hours. And I could tell you, please, if you like, visit o'neilloutside.com right there on the homepage. My first, I got the second one headed your way, believe me, but my first book called O'Neill Outside, People and Places Along the Way. It's gotten some great reviews. It's not John Steinbeck. It's not Ernest Hemingway. It's just some Georgia and a few adventures across the world, hunting and fishing, mostly the places and the people that I met those times. A little adventure here and there. We'll have the radio prize package and the Rocco's prize package, the Medal of Honor. We'll have your calls and have some great questions. I'd like to hear from you this morning about springtime fishing and turkey hunting. We can talk about that over the next couple of hours. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside, the #1 live outdoor-based radio program in the country, and it's made that way because of you. So, this is O'Neill, 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255. Give us a call. We'll talk hunting and fishing, and I'll be back. All right, 12 minutes after the hour, welcome back. This is O'Neill Outside as a reminder, and I hope you enjoy the program this morning. It's my obligation and pleasure to tell you this program is brought to you every week by Works Tools. As a matter of fact, it is Works Radio. I used some of those tools this week. That battery-powered stuff, hey, man, that's the stuff. Anyway, by Stripling's General Store, Tough Shed, Snellville Heating and Air, Rocco's Pub, the Department of Natural Resources, State Parks and Historic Sites in Georgia, Big Green Egg, True Turn Hooks and Roadrunner Lures, Arctic Ice Freezer Packs, O'Neill's Podcast, Fisher's Choice Baits, and Year One Auto Parts. 12 after the hour. We've already got some calls coming in. Why not get to them? Someone's kind enough to take the time to give us a call. Let's talk now to Dave, and he's calling from Woodstock, Georgia. Good morning, Dave. What's going on with you, sir?
Good morning, O'Neill. How you doing this morning?
Outstanding. How about you? You've got a turkey hunt planned?
I do. I'm on the road now. I'm headed up to Fannin County and going to try to call up a gobbler. And if I get one, I'm going to brine him up this week and put him on my green egg smoker for Easter.
Man, oh man, what a combination of events coming up. I hope you get one.
Yeah, I've got plenty of turkey hunting gear in my back seat, but I also brought my fishing gear with me. I'm going to go up and try to fish either Hiawassee or Appalachia a little bit today.
Oh, good.
I understand there's catching some brown trout up there right now.
Oh,
so
boy.
I'm going to try that after I get done turkey hunting.
Yeah, thank goodness that years and years ago that some enterprising and, we'll call them enterprising, energetic people brought rainbow trout and brown trout to Georgia. Because as you very well may...
all the way from Europe.
Yes, indeed. It's, matter of fact, the brown is called the German brown. So
Right.
Otherwise...
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, we would have, and it's, not necessarily a disappointment, but otherwise we would not have rainbows and browns. We would have only brook trout. That's the native.
Correct, yeah.
That's the native species. Well, have you got some gobblers located?
It's been a little tough this year. I've not been able to get out and scout much at all. I've got one turkey I located opening day. But he was really henned up, and we're going to try a different location this morning to see if we can get into a little bit more. And we're going to go up between Will Scott and Suches this morning.
Okay. God, you're in the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're in the mountains.
That's where I grew up. That's my old stomping ground. I know those hills.
Oh, there you go. That's
for me.
That's the first thing I tell people when they ask me, what do you need to do to be a good turkey hunter? And I say the first thing you have to do is understand the lay of the land. If you don't,
there you go. And I've got a cousin who's a fantastic turkey hunter, and he taught me how to hunt. He always said that turkeys are like gold; they're where you find them. So. They don't necessarily hang out where we think they should. They hang out where they think they should, and you just got to find where they're at. If it takes a little walking to get to them, that's what you got to do.
That's exactly right. That's my only complaint, because we live up here in the mountains, and adjacent to our home here is the Dawson Forest. And
right, yeah.
The only trouble with hunting in the mountains is when you get out of the truck, you have to walk uphill, and somehow or another you have to walk uphill to get back to the truck. I don't understand that.
Yeah, the land changes as the day goes on. Maybe it's when the sun comes up and the heat hits at the mountain. The hills change their angles or something, because it does seem that way. But I tell you, an area I would love to hunt. I've always wanted to my entire life and just never got over there, and that's over in the Chattahoochee National Forest around Brasstown Ball.
Yes.
I would love to hunt that area over there, and I've got so many places to go, it never figures into my list. You know?
Well, I want you to know, you've probably heard me say it before, but I want you to know, as far as I'm concerned, my own personal opinion is that the eastern wild turkey is the number one big game animal in North America for a whole host of reasons. Have you ever had or taken the opportunity to hunt out west to hunt the Rio? Rio Grande.
I lived in Oklahoma for 20 years, and in Oklahoma, if you were in the eastern end of the state, you were hunting easterns. Mm-hmm. If you were hunting in the majority of the state, you were hunting Rio Grandes. And if you were out in the Panhandle, you could actually shoot a Merriam. So you could get 3 species in one state, which is very nice. But it took a lot of traveling to get that done,
Oh, yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned,
I never got all 3. I never managed to get all 3 in one season. But I've also hunted Montana. And killed Merriams out there. But the Rio Grande, I tell you what, I've always said you could fill up your pickup truck with Rio Grandes for about every 2 or 3 easterns you manage.
Absolutely. The Rio Grande and the Merriam will practically come up and eat out of your hand. The eastern will hurt your feelings.
Yeah, there's an old saying that the difference between a turkey and a deer is if a man stands still long enough, a deer will think it's a tree or a stump.
Mm-hmm.
But if a tree stands still long enough, a turkey will still think it's a man. You know?
I hadn't heard that. Well put. Good luck to you today, sir. Now, you owe me a call next week now.
All right, you bet. I'll call you back and let you know how we did.
Mighty fine. I'd really appreciate that. You absolutely do that. There we go. All right, my friend, there you are. There's Dave, and let's see. We've got to get Dave off the air here. We got my program's not working, Corey, so we can drop that. All right, it's 18 after the hour. Let me ask you guys a question. I know that this not political atmosphere, but our COVID-19, the problems that we're having, you don't need a description from me. I want everybody to know throughout the telecast today and for O'Neill throughout the day, throughout the weeks that are upcoming, we're going to be fine. We have smart people looking after us by and large, especially the medical profession, home care, emergency services, firemen, policemen, those people that will continue to work. Now, I'm just sitting up here at the cabin, okay? Gail and I haven't been out in 3 weeks. Gail, I don't think, has been out the front door for 3 weeks. So we're going to be just fine, and my personal and then I'll get off of this, but my personal background in the study of economics and the role of government in economics and the role of government in a free market economy. I went to Emory. I graduated with a degree in economics. And not that I know everything, but I keep up with it, and I've done the necessary and then some reading. And they are, the administration, the bank, we are doing the right things. Things that were not done in 1929, 30, 31, 32, 33. We are doing the right things, and we will come out of this fine. Okay? So, and then we can continue our hunting and fishing when we do, when we can get outside. Now, the lakes and all, everything's open. Just don't put 10 people in a pontoon boat and ride around the lake. Maintain your distances safely. Be out in the fresh air. Be like Dave and go turkey hunting. It'll worth it. The turkeys don't have viruses and of this type. So enjoy the weekend by starting off listening to O'Neill Outside. That sounds like it's reasonable, doesn't it? Okay, 404-872-0750 in the Atlanta area and all across the country at 800-972-8255. I have a question for you. What is the number one bait? You've only got one. What is the number one bait for game fish in the springtime? What do you choose? Let's talk about it when we get back. Stay right there. We lost. Okay, he'll call back. So let's talk to Howard. He was next in line. Good morning, Howard. You're on the radio program. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, O'Neill. How are you, young man?
Lovely. You on the way to the woods?
Yes, sir. I'm headed to beautiful Talbot County, Georgia.
Okay.
Hopefully, this time I can be smarter than that old wily bird.
You are all right. You are smarter, but you're not quite as astute as he is in the woods. He can see better than you.
He can see better, and his instincts are a lot better because he's always got Mr. Coyote or Bobcat on his tail.
Oh, you bet.
You're right.
Well, just think about how attentive you would be if every day, every waking hour, something was trying to get you.
You know it, right, sir. I always thought that deer hunting, as I slip into a stand in the morning and it starts, thinking about how quiet I could be if I knew someone had a rifle out there looking for me.
That's exactly right. That's exactly.
But that's the challenge. That's why I love to go to the outdoors. But I wanted to answer your question about the bait you go to.
Okay, please do.
It's just a confidence thing. We all know that when you're fishing, that bait, if you don't have confidence in it, they're not going to bite it, and I like to throw a jerkbait.
Oh, good for you.
One of my things I grab, It's an active bait. I can move the rod, and I love a jerk bait, and that's the one I pick up and go to.
Well, you know what? You know the jerk bait to me, and I solicit your comment. The jerk bait to me is good because you get to see it happen almost.
That's correct. And,
Yeah, I mean,
after years of fishing it, I've learned many different ways to approach it in many different patterns, and it's not simply jerk it back in all the time. I change erratic motions, and it's a versatile bait that I use in a lot of situations.
okay. Let me give you. You know, O'Neill always has a big mouth tip. Okay.
I'll take it.
Okay. Here, if you got on jerk bait, all right, and you know you don't hook up every cast. I mean, you don't hook up with every bite. So he sometimes misses it, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, he misses it sometimes, like a buzz bait, like a spinner bait. He'll strike at it and he'll miss it, okay? If you have a weighted worm, a Texas rig, if you have a weighted worm that you can throw back into that swirl, you'll catch him almost every time.
That's exactly right. I always try to keep one handy. That's great.
That's right. Now
I appreciate that.
I learned that. That's not. I didn't discover that myself. I fished a tournament years ago, and enjoyed it very much. I fished with Rick Clunn, and Rick, as you know, Bassmaster Angler of the Year, won the Classic 4 times. Blah blah blah. He was an enjoyable partner that day. But he taught me that, and it works.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I actually met Rick Clunn at Seminole one time at Wingate's Lodge. He's a very interesting fellow.
Yes, he is.
I also
Mhm.
go ahead, Ronell.
Go ahead, please.
No. I was going to say, I know you usually speak with one of my good buddies, Mac Farr.
Yes.
And if you talk to him this morning, you tell him that Howard said hello.
I will do that. He'll call us. He'll call us just after 5 o'clock, and I'll remember that.
No, he's a good friend of mine and a great guy. And my story on Mac Farr is he's such a good fisherman. If he falls in a mud puddle at the Walmart parking lot, he's got a fish in each pocket when he stands up.
Yeah, you're right. He creates his own luck, and it's Mac Farr who established the umbrella rig as a dependable go-to technique for Lake Lanier. It really does
exactly
work.
Right. He's a great, and he's a better person. I'm not just to brag on Mac, but he's a better person than he is fisherman, and he's best fisherman I know.
You bet.
I enjoyed the time talking to you, buddy. Have a great Saturday, and you and yours stay healthy and safe.
You bet. Thanks for calling, pal. There we go.
Bye-bye.
You bet. Thanks, Howard. All right, let's go. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. Now, as Howard, he's just talking, he likes to do a jerk bait. You know, the bait that you should use is the one you have the most confidence in. What are you using? Well, I'm using confidence. I know because of my history with a certain category of baits that I'm going to catch something by using this bait and sticking to it most of the time. In the case of Howard, his is a jerk bait. Okay? Now, so the answer is really elusive. What is that first bait? What is that bait that you should use? Well, the one that you've had success with it before, but overall, I will tell you, in my judgment, if you use a small bait, you will get more bites in a day if you're fishing for spotted bass, largemouth, crappie, northern pike, walleye. If you'll use a small bait, you'll get more bites than if you use a big bait. So, why do you ask, O'Neill? All right, let's think about it just for a second. There are more small fish in the lake, be it a pond, a stream, a major reservoir. There are more small fish in the lake than there are big fish in the lake. And the small fish will be, because there's so many of them, they will be much more aggressive to an artificial lure than a big bait will. So, when you're fishing, vary your baits, vary your retrieve, but you'll get more bites on light line with a small bait than you will a big bait. Okay. Corey, it's 32 after the hour. Let me check and see if we've got any calls here just for a moment. I don't want to leave anybody out. I tell you what, we have time to do that. Before we get to the radio prize package, let's talk to Milton. And there's Milton right there. Good morning, Milton. It's O'Neill. Let me get you up here, buddy.
Milton Crabapple.
Hey, Bill. Hey, what do you say, pal?
Well, I'm just sitting around practicing social distance.
Oh, yeah, good for you. Well, how's the turkey season been so far?
Well, it's been good. You know, I didn't get to go but one time, but I got the biggest turkey I ever killed.
Wow. Well, what was the key, do you think, that got that turkey for you, that made that work?
Well, one of the keys was hunting late in the afternoon. I killed him at 10 minutes after 5.
Oh, I see.
You know, a lot of folks just hunt in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to hunt when the turkeys are gobbling, you know. But I'll tell you something, them turkeys are moving all day long.
Oh, yeah, they're on the prowl.
They don't go bed down, you know. They're always moving around.
Mm-hmm.
But some folks just don't like to hunt them if they ain't gobbling. But I'll tell you, I come up on these turkeys. I seen them about 200 yards away.
Oh.
I come up over a hill in a pasture. You know, I hunt up in the mountains. There's a big hill, this pasture. And I took out, I thought they might be some turkeys in that pasture, so I got one of them folding fans in my pocket.
Uh-huh.
You know, looks like a turkey's tail.
Right.
And I tell you, I put that thing up on my head I look like a Kiowa war brave when I come up over that hill.
Okay.
That thing sticking up over my head. I peeked up over the hill, and they saw that fan, and here they come.
Oh.
Scared me. There was a bunch of them. I didn't know what they was going to do, so I ducked down and got down on my knees and got my gun ready and eased my head up again and looked. They was closer. You know, them things come all the way over there to me. They got about 15 yards away. I said, that's close enough. Yes, sir.
And you took one.
Got me one of them. He was a big one, too.
Oh, yeah? How big was he? Did you weigh him?
No, I didn't have nothing to weigh him with.
Well, that's okay. I can tell if you say he's a big one.
He's a big one. I tell you, he had a foot on him like a basketball player.
Oh, well, I'm glad you started out with a successful turkey season. You going to be going again?
Well, I don't know. It just depends. You know, my crabapple don't want me to get out of the house.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Coronavirus going on, you know. Take no chances, you know.
That's right.
As long as you don't break the rules, you're all right, you know.
Certainly.
But I tell you, it's something. But there's a good side to all this, too, you know. You know, everything's closed down, and I can't get a haircut. The barbershops are closed. All the hair salons are closed, and for the first time in history, we're going to be able to see what people's real hair color is.
Oh. That's right.
We're going to end up calling this the skunk virus because everybody's going to be walking around with a big white stripe down the top of their heads.
That's good. The skunk virus. That's good.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm glad you had a successful start, and I'm going to take the lesson that you're giving us. Two things. Number one, don't hesitate to use that fan. Number one. And number two, hunt late in the afternoon when they're not necessarily gobbling.
Well, I'll tell you something, O'Neill. Now, I ain't killed a lot of turkeys, okay? I ain't killed a whole heap of them like a lot of people have, but over half of them I've killed have been in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Late in the afternoons, too. I don't mean 2 o'clock. I mean between 5 and 6 o'clock.
I see. Just before going to roost.
Well, not long before it. That's true, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of folks just. But now that's a different kind of hunting, you know. Mostly, it's unless you can't use that fan unless you got lots of open ground, because you don't want to go sneaking over a ridge in the woods with that fan up over your head.
I've
and
got,
another
Milton-
turkey hunter sitting over
Milton-
there in a brush pile, something liable to part your
Milton,
head for
I've got another question for you. I'm going to hold you over because I want to hold you over and talk to you. This is O'Neill. We'll be back. I'm behind.
Actually, that's the first turkey I've ever killed on opening day.
Oh,
Most of them I've killed have been later on in the season.
I see.
But I think it works all the time because, like I say, you know, them turkeys are moving around all the time. They may hang around for a few minutes or somewhere in the shade when it gets hot, but, you know, they always are moving around.
Well, I think part of what, you know, I sort of answer my own question because I had the opportunity before to read and study and hunt with Tom Kelly. And he always said to hunt when the hens are already have left the tom, or the tom has already left the hens.
Well, that's a good time, you know. That's a good time to hunt because they're going to be more, them gobblers are going to be more active and more looking for hens, but it's a little different tactic, but I don't think it changes time of the day too much. I always heard if you hear turkey gobbling in the afternoon, you can kill him.
Oh, that's right. I believe that. If you call and you get
something I figured out a long time ago.
Oh, I'm with that 100%. I remember, then I'll let you go, but I remember Tom Kelly telling, and Roscoe Reams, this was Roscoe Reams, who used to tell me the last 2 weeks of the season is the best 2 weeks of the year. Because
I'll tell you something that works for me, and then I'll let you go. But
okay.
You try this next time you go turkey hunting.
Mm-hmm.
If you know where there's a turkey on a gobbler on the roost, you get set up on him. You know, try to get within 100 yards of him if you can. And right as it gets daylight, you yelp to him one time, and then break out in a big circle and run all the way around to the opposite side and sit down, and he'll come right to you.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
That's about the way it works.
A lot of people track them down that way. They surely do.
Well, I gotta get out of here, O'Neill.
Okay. Be careful,
Stop
my
by
good
the general.
friend. I'll see you soon. There you go. When Milton gets ready to go, he's gone. It's 43 after the hour. I tell you what, let's give away the radio prize package. The rules for the radio prize package are you have to be 18 years old to win, and number 2, you cannot have won a radio prize package before. And don't think we don't know it, because we'll have to have your email address, and if it's the same email address, we won't send it to you. How about that? So all the questions are about me or Gail or the family. So the only reason you would know the answer is that you listen to the show. This is not just regular trivia. The prizes are the following: a Bojangles gift card, a Big Green Egg koozie kit, an Angler magazine, DNR Regs magazine, Georgia State Parks Guide, a can of Fisher's Choice baits. You'll need those to take the kids fishing. A selection of True Turn tackle, an Arctic Ice travel pack. You won't buy ice anymore for your coolers. A moon phase clock, very important, and a Hydro Shot glass. That's like the Works Hydro Shot. The question is, name the first name of either one of our 2 children. Excuse me. The first name, either one, of Gail and O'Neill's 2 children. If you listen to the show, you should be able to get that, and you will win the radio prize package. It's 45 after the hour, 404-872-0750 or 800-972-8255. So we have some calls, and later on in the program, I want you to know we will have the mailbag, and we will have TJ's True Turn tackle tips. I don't accomplish it always, but I'd like to think that the time that you spent in the truck, in the car listening, or whether you're at home listening, or whether you're all over the country from stations from the SB Nation network, that after the show if you listen, then you will be entertained, maybe. I'm no entertainer. But from me or my callers and the interaction between me and my callers, you will learn something. And we have already today from Milton, great recommendation about hunting late in the day. It worked for him, and it has worked for him, and you should maybe give it a try to elevate your success status. So is that Mark on number 6, Corey? And I'll get to him. Well, it looks like maybe we already have our question answered. In any case, 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255 for O'Neill Outside. We broadcast from what we call Three Falls Cabin. It's a little 8-acre spot on the side of the mountain in North Georgia. It's called Sassafras Mountain. And our little... There's not much buildable. It's like 1 acre of buildable, or a little bit more than that, and the rest of it goes off the side of the mountain down to a place called Pettit Creek, and then on the other side of Pettit Creek is the Dawson Forest. So we live kind of isolated, and you got to want to go here. You just don't drop by. This is a destination. So it's called Three Falls Cabin, and we certainly do enjoy it. We've owned it for a long, long time, but we didn't build and move. We built, but then we didn't move in until about 5 or 6 years ago. We lived for 35 years in Snellville, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, east of the city, and we lived kind of out in that was kind of out in the country too. It was on a single-lane dirt road that was a circle. It was called Haynes Circle. So there wasn't much traffic. Like I said, single-lane dirt road and in Snellville. Anyway, enough about that. It's 48 after the hour. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside, of course. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. And I'm confident that one of these calls right here is the radio prize package winner, but I can't tell from the way this looks, Corey. I can't tell, and but we'll get to it. I promise.
6 is our winner.
The 6 is the winner. All right, let's go to that. We'll find out his name and so on. And here we go. This is O'Neill. Who's this?
Hey, O'Neill. This is Ryan.
Hello, Ryan. Good morning to you. You sounds like you're probably going to be the winner of the radio prize package.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, if you can tell me now the first name of either one of our daughters.
That would be Amy.
Okay, Amy is our oldest. That is correct. Her name truly is Amanda, but she goes by Amy, and she was named, her name is Lillian Amanda. And that's my grandmother.
Lillian Amanda.
Yeah, that's my grandmother and Gail's grandmother. Lillian Amanda. Interesting.
Oh, I see.
So, do we have your...
well, that's neat.
Yeah, good. Do we have your information so that we can send you the prize package?
Yes.
We do. Okay. Well, thank you for your
Yes,
participation in the program. Are you working right now on the job, or what are you doing?
No, I'm just part-time, and I just do what I can to get things taken care of.
There you go. All right.
I like to buy, sell, and trade, so there's always something out there for me.
Mighty fine. Mighty fine. Well, good for you. Have a great weekend, and it was worthwhile calling, wasn't it? You got quite a prize package. Give us a couple of weeks to get it to you.
Yes, sir, it was.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Mighty fine. And thank you for your participation. There we go. 50 minutes after the hour, this is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside. We do have the True Turn here. Let's do the True Turn, TJ's True Turn tackle tip. Let's see if I've got one for you. I bet I do. I usually kind of prepare for this when I can. True turn tackle tip. True turn tackle tip. Okay. Here's a true turn tackle tip. Okay. This is a good lesson. It's springtime. The time for the largemouth bass, when the water temperature gets to be 65, 67, 68, then the male bass will, using his tail, he will fan out a circle of about 2 feet square. That's the bed. And he will invite the larger of the species, the female, he will invite her up to the bed and to get her to lay eggs in that bed, which he would fertilize. And she sticks around there for a couple of days. So the big bass, the one you want to catch, is on the bed in shallow water, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet, maybe 3 feet deep. You can see her. My recommendation and the true turn tackle tip is the following. Don't do it. Leave her alone. Unless you're in a tournament, and I know the self-serving rewards of taking a big bass off the bed and so forth, but if you're just a fun fisherman, a weekend fisherman, just some guy who enjoys the sport, leave that bass alone. Why? Well, you say, if I catch her, I just put her back. Are you sure she goes back to the bed? Will she go back to the bed? Maybe. Maybe she won't go back to the bed. Out of the hundreds of thousands of eggs that she lays and is fertilized and guarded by the male, 1 in 100,000 will end up being a 12-inch long bass. So with the millions that she spews out or lays there in that bed, if you catch her and you keep her from spawning, you just kept a whole bunch of bass from reestablishing a livelihood in your pond or in the lake. Resist the temptation, please. This is my feeling. I don't fish for bedding bass at all, and I recommend that you consider not fishing for bedding bass also. Give it a try. It's kind of a topic of conservation, if you will. The lake will be better off, and you knowing that you could have caught her, probably, should be enough. Take a look at her and leave her alone. This is O'Neill. I'll be back.
O'Neill Outside Radio is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Works Power and Garden Tools. Toyota, let's go places. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Big Green Egg, the most popular and most versatile ceramic grill. Huff Shed, great storage sheds and custom buildings. Year One, classic car parts for American muscle cars. Arctic Ice, the most durable, versatile, and effective cooler packs available. Timbuktu Outdoors, the ideal solution to live bait. Furminator, the best food plot implement on earth. And the Georgia Department of Natural Resources and State Parks.
From Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangled studio at Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia Mountains, it's time for O'Neill Outside. For anything in the outdoors, this is your source. Listen in and call the show with your comments or questions. And now, here's O'Neill.
Welcome back, everyone. The second hour of O'Neill Outside is headed your way from Three Falls Cabin in the North Georgia Mountains. This is Works Radio, WORX, and I'm obligated to, and with great pleasure, I'll tell you this program is brought to you every week by Works Tools, Stripling's General Stores, Tough Shed, Snellville Heating and Air, Rocco's Pub, the Department of Natural Resources in Georgia, Big Green Egg, True Turn Hooks, Arctic Ice Freezer Packs, O'Neill's Podcast, Fisher's Choice Baits, and Year One Auto Parts. So we've got some calls already. We're going to get to those in a moment. The telephone numbers are 404-872-0750. That's 404-872-0750 in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And across the country on the SB Nation Network, the number is 800-972-8255. That's 800-972-8255. We have the mailbag coming up. We have the calls from you guys. We'll finish the program as usual with the Medal of Honor, and we'll give away a Rocco's prize package sometime during this next hour, and we hope that you'll join us. Before we get to that first break and I get to talk to Wade, then I want to tell you, we're going to be fine. They're going to sock this virus in the head soon. We're going to recover. We're going to be just fine. Maintain your instructions from the government and medical officials about staying quarantined. Don't go anywhere. Stay home. Give these health care workers, whether it be police, firemen, medical assistants, give them a break. Okay? Do what you can and what you should do to separate yourself. Don't go anywhere. Do your part. We'll have this behind us very soon. We've done it before. Okay, first break coming up. We'll talk to Wade and a whole bunch of other stuff when we get back. Okay, let's get to some calls. What do you say? No more politics. You understand my feelings on all that. Just follow through. Right now, let's finish up our call with Wade. But Wade had something else he wanted to chat about. Good morning, Wade.
Yeah, this ain't politics on it. I'm
right.
proud of the way the school systems are handling this.
Right.
The way they make sure these kids get a meal.
Oh, I see.
See, Buford's out on vacation next week.
I see.
And on yesterday, they got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Oh, excuse me. On Wednesday, they got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's meal. Next week's on that, but they're going to close the school system for the year, but they still going to provide them kids with lunches.
Wonderful.
Till the end of May.
Wonderful.
I'm proud. Up here in Bowling Green.
That's
I'm right here on the county line where you got Warren County and then you got Bowling Green City Schools.
Mm-hmm.
And they come through yesterday. The teachers come through with a big old long parade, blowing their horns.
Oh, good.
Signs, balloons, and all the kids out on the road waving at everybody. But up here, no, you leave and go to the store, everybody's in the yard doing something. It's too pretty to be inside.
That's right. Yeah, it's
But,
springtime.
Yeah, we're going to make it through this. We're going to get over it.
You bet.
It'll be good. But
You bet.
I'm going to ask you something. Now, you were talking about them baths on bed.
Yeah.
And I have had a gentleman argue with me on the internet about this.
Uh-huh.
Now, a carp can do more harm in 1 minute than anything else can to that bed, can't it?
Absolutely.
When she lays those eggs in there, and that carp comes up there and eats every one of them in 1 minute, he's killed 10,000 fish.
Absolutely.
What was the ratio now? She lays 100,000, and only 10,000 will make it legal limit?
No, for every 100,000 eggs that she lays, only one bass will make it to 12 inches.
Oh, Lord, okay. Well, I was off on that. But now, a gar.
Mm-hmm.
I consider a gar a trash fish, just like a carp.
Okay.
And I had a gentleman want to argue with me about that. And he said, no, they're not. I said, man, they eat up the game fish. They eat the bass, they eat the crappie, they eat the eggs. They'll do the same thing to a bass bed. They'll suck the eggs up.
Yeah.
Man, that thing's got a mouthful of teeth. Why do they want to be a bottom feeder? Because it's opportunity.
One of these days we'll talk about how.
What would you consider a gar?
Well, he's more of a deeper water fish than a bank roamer. So he's not going to spend much time on the beds. He's a scavenger. He eats what floats to the bottom out in deeper water.
Well, the Chestatee and the Chattahoochee had both alligator gar and long nose gar when they dammed up Lake Lanier, didn't they?
Well, they have long nose and spotted. They don't have an alligator gar. An alligator gar has a mouth like an alligator. So he looks different. You can tell him apart very easily.
Well, we were fishing up there in the back of Bayless Creek, and I kept missing this fish. Top water season, I'd miss him deadly. All right, wait, you done missed. Try again. On some standing timber. That's before all timber fell. I threw it over and I jerked my creek chub darter about twice. I missed him, and Daddy threw right behind me with a torpedo and caught one. That joker was 4 foot long.
Oh.
And his nose wasn't nothing but teeth.
Yeah, that was a long nose or a spotted gar. That wasn't an alligator gar. And they are fun to catch.
Bill Vanderford do a show with a yellow rope. He throw a yellow rope out there with no hook on it. Catch him on the yellow rope.
Catch him with a string. All right, pal. Appreciate you listening. I got to go, pal. You stay in.
Thank you, O'Neill.
You bet.
I want to give a shout out to my buddy Travis down there in Buford.
Okay.
He's doing good, but he's listening to me talk to you. And I said I'm gonna give him a shout out. But appreciate you, O'Neill. Everybody behave out there.
You bet.
Stay at home.
See you later, pal. First of all, let's go. He's been holding on quite a while. Mark is calling from Camden County, and I'll bet you Mark is going turkey hunting today.
That'd be a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, that's pretty safe. Yes, indeed. What's on the agenda for you, sir?
I'm going to go float the river this morning on the borderline between Jeff Davis, Montgomery County, Bull Creek, WMA. And, been a pretty good turkey season so far. The gobbling activity last weekend was extremely slow, but I managed to, like you and Milton were talking about earlier, I got on a couple of lonely gobblers about 9:30 in the morning last Sunday, and they came to me like they were on a string, and I took one. So I've got one under my belt this spring.
Good for you. What? Mark. What do you? Let me ask you a question, sir. What do you think about Milton's recommendation about hunting late in the afternoon?
It's an excellent way to take a bird if you can ever get one to gobble.
Yeah.
Really, any time during the day. It doesn't matter if it's lunchtime or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That bird is usually the easiest gobbler you will find to call. Because most of the times, if he gobbles that late in the day, he's alone.
Right, he's alone, so you can get him.
Yeah, you don't need to go in there and be a world champion caller and start breaking out all your calls and calling too much either. Usually a few soft yelps, a couple of clucks is really all you need. If he wants to come, he's going to come straight to you.
Oh, yeah.
What those birds get back. And,
because that time
style of hunting that I do down here in South Georgia where I used to boat too, it's an excellent way to hunt, and there's tons of public land all across South Georgia, especially that have rivers that run through them. And best way I've ever found to get to the remote areas of public land. And I would temper anybody's enthusiasm that wants to do it is please don't throw a boat in a South Georgia river that you've never ran. Make sure you go down there in the daylight a little while first and scout these rivers out and start cataloging away the hazards, snags, the shoals.
Good idea.
It can be a little bit, yeah, but it is an excellent way to hunt. I've been doing it this way for at least 35 years.
Yeah, you're successfully doing it too. That's a great recommendation, Mark. Good luck to you today, pal.
And remember, the DNR commissioner did say turkey season's still open, fishing's still open. Just find your P's and Q's, maintain your distance, and it's still okay to get out on the water and in the woods in Georgia and self-isolate in the woods.
Mighty fine.
I'm not saying that sarcastically. I mean, really. If you're going
I know.
to go along.
I'm with you 100%. Glad you called, Mark. Have a great weekend, pal. Be sure and be in touch with me next weekend. Let's see here. I've got 2 minutes. Let's talk now to Mac. He's always got something great to say. Good morning, Mac. What do you say?
Good morning, O'Neill. How are you?
Just fine. I got 2 minutes, and I know I'll learn something from you today.
Well, let's see. We'll cram this into 2 minutes.
Okay.
Fishing's good. There you go.
Just get out there and give it a try, huh?
Yeah, no, a lot of good stuff going on. Of course, this is the only time of year, we can catch spotted bass out of shallow water. Let's say shallow, less than 10 or 12 feet. You can go down the bank and catch them, flukes. If you get a little wind, spinnerbait or a jerkbait, soft plastic's hard to beat. A robo worm on a weedless wonder, or a Cinco on a same jig head, or Neko rig. It's just, or even just a good old fashioned old school Texas rig will catch them. Just going down the bank. Find you a bank that's got cover on it, and they'll be there. Striper fishing's been really good. We've actually still got a lot of birds on the lake. Really watch them because they'll help you find them. Yeah, they'll start going home for long, as warm as it is, but they've been a big asset the last few weeks. And if you see schooling fish right now, and we've had quite a few schooling fish, particularly on the days where we've got some cloud cover, some rain.
Uh-huh.
But if you see one on top, if you'll throw a mini mac to him, he will come. He won't just eat it; he'll come and get it.
Good for you.
That's been crazy. And then if you're not seeing them on top, just find them, look for the birds, or if you see just one or two surfacing fish, put you out a nice bait spread, or just put you some herring on a planer board and pull them over high spots, points, humps, over the reef poles. And, you know, what I always tell people when you're pulling your live bait spread, though, Neil, one of my pet peeves, don't just sit there and wait for a bite. Pick something up and cast it.
Yes,
I
agree.
So many bonus bites, whether it's, and you catch a lot of spotted bass, which is a good thing to me. But, you know, a jerk bait, a spinner bait, or if you just want to really target the stripers, a topwater or the mini mac, you can cast it to the banks, to the little points, the reef poles. But while you're waiting for that next bite, keep something in hand and cast it. It will pay off for you right now.
Great recommendation, Mac. Great recommendation. Next week, I want to spend some more time with you. I have some, but I'm covered up with calls. But I'm going to spend some more time with you next week. This is O'Neill, and I'll be back. I'm right on time. 25 after the hour. We got a lot of calls. I want to get to every single one of them. I appreciate people getting up in the morning and give us a shout. First of all, been holding on the longest time. John is calling from somewhere in the Catskill Mountains in North Georgia. I mean, in New York. I'm sorry, pal.
Yeah. Greetings from the Catskill Mountains. O'Neill, real quick, in 1968, the Vietnam War was going on, Apollo missions.
Yes.
But there was a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic, the Hong Kong flu.
Right.
1 million people died worldwide, 100,000 in the United States. I remember it. I was a 10-year-old boy in bed, sick for 2 weeks with the Hong Kong flu, and we all got through it.
Absolutely, and we will this.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Predators.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yep. I've got a list of predators of turkeys I've seen over the years.
Okay.
Bobcat killed one on the nest. That was the first one I ever saw.
Mm-hmm.
A bobcat stalked behind one that was feeding and killed it.
Oh.
A red fox patiently waited between two boulders as the flock was working their way up toward him, and he killed that one, ate it. In September of a year, an immature red-tailed hawk killed an immature turkey.
Oh.
And that was, I was surprised at that one. I really was. And red-tailed hawk fed one at a nest, fed a poult, a young turkey, to the young at the nest I seen. Coyotes, I've seen one run after 3 tom turkeys during the hunting season. He never had a chance.
Right.
But, you know, it's just amazing how when something's sitting on a nest, it's very vulnerable.
Oh, indeed.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, last time I talked to you, I went out and I found a woodcock nest. First time I ever seen one of them.
I never have.
She's doing good. Yeah, she's doing good. I sent you some pictures, even snow-covered. It snowed a couple, 2-3 inches up here, and she got covered in snow.
Oh.
She's doing good. She's got a lot of predators in that area, but hopefully next week the eggs will hatch, and I'll keep you updated on that. But predators are out there, and all the odds are against these things, but a lot of them make it.
Well, it's I tell you what, this predator and prey ratio has worked very well for the last 11,000 years. The only time that hasn't worked is when men have been involved. Yeah.
Yep. I'm very interested in listening to you guys turkey hunting, and boy, you know, we got to wait till the whole month of May 1st it starts here, but we don't hunt in the afternoon. During the New York season, it ends at noontime. Because in theory, the ones that establish this, is the hens come off the nest to feed, and they don't want anybody shooting the hens.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we only have morning hunts here in New York.
Okay. Well, we don't shoot the hens here.
No, we don't either. Only in the fall of the year.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, that they don't want people hunting accidentally shooting the hens.
So
in
about
theory, it stops at noontime. Yeah.
Well, I always learn something every time you call, John.
Appreciate it. I always love listening to your show and everybody else who calls and all the stories. I appreciate it.
Good deal. Have a great weekend, pal.
Yes, thank you.
You bet. I'll see you soon. Now let's talk. We've got time to talk to Hank the Yank. What do you say, my good friend? What's going on with you? It's 29 after the hour.
I'm a little disappointed.
Oh yeah, how's
one of our callers this morning.
What?
Did you hear that guy Wade? Did you hear what he said? He actually called a carp a trash fish.
Well, I know you leave him alone.
Oh boy! I'll tell you, I'll tell you what. I was half asleep, and that got me out of bed and all fired up.
No, it's a great shallow water feeding fish for you to catch on the fly.
That's exactly right. One of the great game fish around. No question about it. If you've never tried it with a fly rod, boy, it's like bone fishing and red fishing in the salt water. It's very likened to that, and once you do it, you'll get hooked. But anyway,
it's good.
Let me tell you a couple of quick things. First of all, fishing on Lanier has been very good this past week. We're on the upside of the full moon, and as you know, you and I have talked forever about how the moon phases really can affect the fishing. And when I'm guiding, and I've obviously canceled all my trips right now until this thing goes away, but the first thing I try to do is get my customers on the moon phases. And 7 days before the full moon to 3 days after the full moon, it's like putting a chip on your side of the table when you're trying to figure out when should I go fishing. So if you can get out this weekend through to today through say next Friday, you're putting a chip on your side of the table. And if it's going to be a little bit overcast one day or prefrontal, you're putting another chip on your side of the table. And when you put a lot of chips on the side of your table, you end up usually catching a pile of fish. So
there you are.
That's what people need to know. So we're on that upswing of the full moon, and that's just a really good fishing period. So, and I know you've experienced that as well, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, and if you go to so many websites, including O'Neill Outside, on that home page at the bottom, you can see the moon phase clock, and it will give you the moon phases.
And that will help you plan your trips for the future. I mean,
certainly.
You'll have people, I'll have people calling me in the next month to get on my calendar for the fall already. And they'll be looking at October, November top order for stripers. And the first thing my seasoned customers know is they'll call me and go, well, we got a good moon phase this day in October. Let's do that. So you can plan your trips far out in advance to put those chips on your side of the table.
Absolutely. Wonderful recommendation.
Well, listen, before I let you go, I just want to throw something out there to everybody. If you are a fisherman, whether you're a fly fisherman or even just a lowly old conventional fisherman like Mac Farr, I want to encourage everybody while they're sitting at home, if you love your fly shop or you love your bait and tackle shop, like here in Georgia we have Unicoi Outfitters and we have the Fish Hawk and we have places like Oakwood Bait and Tackle, and my love of loves is Hammond's Fishing Center. You need to support these guys in these times. These guys, if you like having a shop to go to, and their business right now is really slowed down, now is the time to go out, and if you've got the disposable income, go buy yourself a gift card that you can use for the future.
Good idea.
When things get a little bit better, but it supports these shops so that when this all passes, they can still stay open and serve the community. So I'd really encourage people to try and do what they can to call up and get a gift card. It's not like you're donating the money. You'll get to use it, whether it's for bait or a fly rod or whatever. But these guys can really use our support right now during these times.
Wonderful suggestion.
All right, buddy.
I'm not surprised to get it from you.
By the way, Unicoi Outfitters is running an unguided special at Nakuchi Bend for big trout. You can fish by yourself for $70 on their private waters.
Oh,
or $75. It's really cheap. So you can go out and catch trophy trout. It's all catch and release, but they're they're running a Corona special for folks that want to try and social distance themselves.
And who is that
Anyway,
again,
pal.
please? And who is that again, please?
Unicoi Outfitters.
Unicoi Outfitters.
Yes, sir, up in Helen. So
Okay.
listen, I gotta go put my pants on. I gotta get out to the lake for first
I'll
sight.
see you later, pal. Hey, we've got 2 minutes to talk to Jim from Loganville. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. How you doing?
Lovely.
I don't. This is going to be a strange one for you because I don't hunt or fish.
Okay, that's all right.
I used to when I was younger, and
Uh-huh.
I've got a 8-point shoulder mount that I got in Putnam County.
Good.
I live in Loganville, Georgia, near Snellville, and I own quite a few weapons, but I've never put a round in any of them or fired any of them. And Hilltop Pond in Snellville, that used to be up on the hill, but now they got their own place by the new QT they put in. They can tell you I've bought over 180 weapons from them.
Wow.
But I have severe PTSD because of military.
Okay.
I'm retired Sergeant Major, but what I'd like to ask you or tell you, you do the Medal of Honor, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
I have a friend, Drew Dix. He's a Congressional Medal of Honor winner.
Drew Dix, D-I-X?
Drew, right, D-I-X.
Okay.
But Drew Dix. He got a battlefield commission, and he retired as a major in Alaska. He's now the head of Homeland Security up there, unless he's already retired from that too. But he retired from out of Fort Wainwright, Alaska. We were stationed together up there for a while, but we were also special forces together. In fact, he is a Medal of Honor recipient. Yes, he is.
Well, I'll look him up. I promise.
He was at the time he was a sergeant first class E7 when he was awarded it. I was with Fifth Special Forces. I retired as a team commander of a Halo scuba team, Oscar Delta 515. I guess I don't shoot anymore. My son has gotten so old that he's retired military too, and to not sound bad, but I really didn't want him to ever go in the military, but he wanted to be a ranger like Daddy and special forces and all, but he couldn't go special forces because in October of 2005, I almost lost him. A sniper round popped him in the right rear base of the skull, went meat all the way through, came out below his left ear, and he got permanently deaf in his left ear. But he went back, finished that tour, and went back and did another tour. But he's retired now, too, just above Fort Jackson.
You're listening to O'Neill Outside, the #1 live outdoor-based radio talk show in the country. We appreciate your participation and your calls. You make the program interesting. It's not me. So with that in mind, let's talk to Black is on the line here. We'll get to Black right away. What do you say, my good friend?
How you doing, O'Neill?
I'm doing great. How about you, Black?
I'm up on top shelf. I got a question.
Go.
About turkeys.
Okay.
Okay. I saw a turkey still on roost at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with the turkeys?
Who knows what time he got up there? He may have been up early, and then something else ran him up into the trees. It'd be tough to say. I've seen them up to 8:30 and 9 o'clock on the roost before. A lot of times, you got to remember how this works. Was that a gobbler that you saw?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Big one.
All right. What happens in the morning is he's on the limb, okay? And he wakes up, he ruffles his feathers, and he struts, and he walks. Sometimes he'll walk up and down the limb, and he will gobble. And that's when the hens that are close by that recognize that gobble or hear that gobble, they will fly over there to him. And they will wait on the ground under the limb, under the tree, until he decides to fly down and mate with them. So maybe he didn't have any, when you saw him, maybe he didn't have any hens under the limb.
I don't think so, O'Neill.
That was it.
Listen, did you say a couple couple of weeks or 3 weeks ago that there was over 5 million turkeys.
There's 7 million.
I thought you said 5.
Well, I could have. I lie a lot,
Yeah. No, you fine. Listen, another question, and I'm gonna let you go. How long has it been since I met you up at what you call them in Atlanta?
I don't remember, Black.
It was a show.
Mm-hmm.
I found you way in the back, finding a kiss on top of your old bald head.
I don't know, 15 years?
I did. Now, come on. And listen, you promised me you was going to take me fishing, and but I ain't going to fuss you out on that.
Well, like I said before, I lie a lot.
How's Gail? How's Gail and all of them?
She's doing just fine. We're staying inside. I hope you are too.
Yes, sir. We got to whip this thing.
You bet, and we will.
I tell you, O'Neill, what they're trying to do. They're trying to thin the population out.
You think so? I don't think that far ahead. I think this has happened. We've had pandemics of this kind on this planet probably 50 times in recorded history.
Yeah, don't you remember the polio way back?
Right, and the biggest
polio cases.
And the biggest one was was the Spanish influenza. Listen to this, then I'm going to hang up. And in the Spanish influenza in 1918, 1/3 of the human race had the Spanish flu. And 50 million people died from it. We made it back.
O'Neill, I need a cap.
Yeah, okay.
My cap, I done wore your cap out.
All right, well, send me your address. I'll send you another one. I got to go, Black.
Let me give it to you right quick. 801 Jackson Lake Road, Jackson, Georgia.
Okay.
30233.
Got it.
Got it?
I got it. We'll send it to you, pal. See you soon, my friend. Let's see. It's 44 after the hour. Let's talk to Richard now. Richard's calling from West Virginia. Good morning, Richard. I always look forward to hearing from you.
Okie dokie, Smokey. You hear a lot of times, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say what you said just a little bit ago, that the callers make the show.
Oh, absolutely.
I never had anybody tell me that. I never tell anybody told me that I made the show.
There you are.
They always say that I make the show worse. I don't know about that.
You do.
What I wanted to find out is the lure. The lure. Do you know what the history of the lure is? It's just something that interests me because fish have been feeding on other different fish forever. I just wonder if there's any certain person who invented the lure and what was the reason behind it. It just, I don't know, just any type of fish you would use, it just seems like forever and ever the fish would just eat their own or eat bait.
Absolutely, but
what about the
artificial lures were invented eons ago. The Native Americans invented lures to use before the Europeans ever made it to America. They used feathers for lures. So to identify one person or group of people, Europeans probably first, but artificial lures existed in America before the Europeans ever landed at Plymouth Rock. Interesting, huh?
Eons ago.
Eons ago. Well, yeah. Well, yes, thousands of years ago. Even the Eskimos did.
I don't know. I guess you can't. If it was that long ago, there's no certain person that did it. It just seems to me that if you're going to fish for something, they have a certain bait that they would be. You could use a live bait that they would use. That's
absolutely.
Why I was really surprised that you used the word that it did happen that many years ago. I thought it might have been like maybe 35, 40, 50 years ago.
No, it's become very sophisticated since then, of course, because of capitalism, and capitalism creates. Isn't that nice? That's a great thing to remember in it. Capitalism creates. Oh, that's good. I got to remember that. Richard, I'm glad you called, pal. As always, be sure and call next week. Right now, I got to go, pal. All right, there you go. Now, if you will, Cody, let's get into the most prominent and most attractive portion of the program, that being the Medal of Honor.
Honor, courage, and strength of character. These qualities are embodied by the recipients of the Medal of Honor. Now let's recognize this week's Medal of Honor recipient on O'Neill Outside.
James Williams. He was a bosun's mate, first class. He was in the Navy, October 1966, Vietnam War. Williams was serving as a boat captain aboard a river patrol boat and was suddenly taken under fire by 2 enemy vessels. Williams immediately ordered the fire returned, killing the crew of one boat and the other boat, causing it to take refuge in a nearby river inlet. Williams' boat encountered heavy volumes of small arms fire from enemy forces from positions along the riverbank. Maneuvering through this fire, the patrol confronted a numerically superior enemy force aboard 10 boats and heavy automatic weapons fire from the shoreline. In the savage battle that ensued, Williams, with utter disregard for his safety, exposed himself to the withering hail of enemy fire to direct counterfire and inspire the actions of his patrol. Recognizing the overwhelming strength of the enemy force, he then discovered an even larger concentration of enemy boats. Not waiting for reinforcements via helicopters, he boldly led the patrol through the intense enemy fire and damaged or destroyed 57 more enemy boats. Now, virtually dark, he moved the patrol perilously close to the shoreline and pressed the attack. Despite a waning supply of ammunition, the patrol successfully engaged the enemy ashore and completely routed the force. Under the leadership of Williams, who demonstrated skill and courage throughout the 3-hour battle, accounted for the destruction and loss of 65 enemy boats and literally inflicted hundreds of casualties on the enemy personnel. His extraordinary heroism and exemplary fighting spirit in the face of grave risks inspired the efforts of his men to defeat the larger enemy force, and in keeping with the finest traditions of the U.S. Naval Service. James Williams died in 1999. He was 69 years old. He was, listen, this is interesting, he was a Native American, a Cherokee, and he was the most decorated enlisted man in the history of the Navy. James Williams, bosun's mate, Vietnam, 1966. It's 50 minutes after the hour. Wow. Let's give away something. What do you say? A $25 gift certificate for a meal at Rocco's in Jasper, Georgia. So if you live close to Jasper, Dawsonville, Blue Ridge, then you're a candidate to answer the following question. It's an easy one. Who is Gail Williams' favorite singer? Who is Gail Williams' favorite singer? 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. We'll send you the gift certificate. After the quarantine thing is over, you can go to Rocco's. Get you some wings. They have some great steaks, burgers. Oh, man, great place to eat. Gail and I, until this started going on, Gail and I went to Rocco's at least once a week. It's a very, very famous Jasper, Georgia pub. It's called Rocco's Pub. It's 52 after the hour. It's been a great morning, hasn't it? And let me take this opportunity before we get any more calls for the winner of the radio for the prize package. Let me encourage you to be positive about our economic and health situation. in the history of modern civilization, there's been more than 50 pandemics. We made it successfully through every single one of them, and we will this one also. The most recent one was the H1N1 called the swine flu. More people died from that than have died in the United States from the COVID-19. Chin up. We're going to make it just fine. Just follow the rules. Maintain your distances. If you must go out, wear a face mask. Otherwise, keep your distance and go outside and enjoy the outdoors. I understand most of the lakes are just full of people because the companies have closed, people are taking off, so make that part of your weekend. What do you say? All right, this is O'Neill. We're going to go out early for this break and enjoy the weekend. Don't let this take you down a few notches, okay? There's a positive effect. You may spend more time with your family, and be careful, and O'Neill will be back in a couple of minutes. And it's 57 after the hour. We've had a couple of great outdoor conversations, and we want to conclude the Rocco's Pub free coupon for dinner. And we want to talk to Bernstein calling from Stone Mountain, Georgia. What a great name. Good morning.
Good morning.
And who is Gail Williams' favorite singer?
Johnny Mathis.
And not a bit surprised, are you?
No.
No, he's fabulous. We have your information. We'll send you the coupon. I hope you make the trip up to Rocco's, and I know you'll enjoy it after the quarantine is over.
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you. Appreciate your participation in the program. There you are. It's all 58 after the hour. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside. So let me preach to you just for a second, okay? You may think you're a tough guy. You may think, oh, hell, I can go where I want to go. I can do what I want to do. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. There's more to it than that about our stay-at-home instructions. Pay attention. You may put someone else in jeopardy by doing that. And I want you to keep in mind these health care emergency workers, these people who are sticking with their jobs to look after us. Don't expose them. Keep yourself healthy. Keep yourself quarantined. Maintain your space. If you have to go out, which you shouldn't, wear the face mask. Keep your space. Pay attention. We'll get through this. Smart people will come up with the medicines and vaccines that will get us through it, and promptly, and the economy will recover promptly. Our problem is finite, and it will be corrected soon. Last thing, then I'll shut up and I'll go about my business, and yours too. Many of the schools are closed. What a great time to take a kid fishing. You're outside, you're enjoying everything, and you're establishing a conversational relationship with probably the most important people in your life, your family. This is O'Neill, and I'll see you next Saturday morning. Enough said.
I once asked a mighty hunter, coming home from the field, how he came to possess such mighty hunting and fishing skill. He said, I'll tell you a secret, son. I learned everything I know from listening to O'Neill Outside on my radio.